What's up, everybody? So I am in Smith Rocks right now. Well, actually, I'm in Skull Hollow Campground. There's my car right there. I'm down here for 4 days, just climbing with this family that I've been working with for a while, and they asked me to come down to Smith Rocks with them and help them out with some stuff. And I thought this would be a good time to shoot a video about what I bring for climbing gear down to Smith Rocks in Oregon. So this is, for any of you who are familiar with Smith Rocks, this is like mainly basalt climbing, using little nubbins to get yourself up. Smith Rock is also the sport climbing capital of the world. No, it's not. But it'd be cool if it were. Smith Rocks is the birthplace of sport climbing. And so that just means there's a bunch of bolts everywhere. And a lot of the routes we climbed are fully bolted, but we're also doing some other more, I guess you could say, adventurous climbs that require some trad gear. So anytime I go down to Smith, I always bring like a certain, like that specific amount of cams right there, and a good number of quick draws. But let me just hop right into it. Here I have a rope. I actually brought 2 ropes with me, but they're the same length, just different diameters. This is a Sterling Nano 9. This is a really great rope to use for just about anything. This one's a 60 meter. Of course, in the sport climbing world, everyone's all about like 80 meter ropes now, but a 60 or 70 gets you up just about anything at Smith Rocks. Maybe some of the newer routes, you need an 80, but 60 and 70 is just about key. So the people I'm climbing with, they have 70 meter ropes, and we've actually only been using theirs so far, so it's really nice. I don't have to put wear on this rope. I do have my harness kit with me that I've shown in all my other gear videos. There's my harness right there. I have 2 quad length slings. You can see I've been using them. They're still in a quad anchor setup, and those come with carabiners. I use quick draws for my other attachment point to the other bolt. There's my double length sling, my gloves that need to be replaced because they got holes and stuff. ATC, hollow block right there, cord, all of these locking carabiners. I brought my gree with me because it's kind of nice to have, especially dealing with thicker ropes, and also like just for belaying and other whatnot. Amount of quick draws that I brought, looks like I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 12 sport draws, and I use the Black Diamond Oz ones because they're nice and lightweight. And then I have 10 Alpine draws. One of the folks did lose one of my carabiners off an Alpine draw today, so that's my final Alpine draw there, and then I'll get another carabiner for it. But 10 Alpines and 12 sport, 22 quick draws. That's about all you need. You can mix and match those for whatever route you want. And if I was doing more sport climbing, I would probably bring this really old set of quick draws I have, which is another 12 quick draws. They're really old, really heavy, and I don't mind beating them up a lot on sport routes. So I could proj on those and fall a whole lot. And yeah, going back to the rope, I would bring a different rope too. That's more beefy and could take more abuse for sport climbing sake. But I wasn't planning on doing that this trip, so that's why I didn't bring it. As far as cams go, I just bring a blanket amount of cams. This time I brought doubles from 0.3 to 3 and 1 number 4. And then you'll see how I have these separated right now. These cams I haven't used at all. They've just been sitting in the car. I have 0.3 of 4, I have 0.5, 3, 4, and then I also have my black Alien. So I just left those in the car. I didn't expect I was going to use them, and I kind of don't really expect I ever need to use these cams when I go to Smith Rocks, but some routes do require them, and I don't want to be not climbing a route I want to climb just because I didn't bother to bring the gear. So it's worth it to bring. You saw my car, so I just leave it in the car all day. It doesn't take up any room. Here's the core amount of gear I usually have. And it's really simple setup. You may have seen this a number of other times. This is the same sort of setup I'll bring for maybe routes in Leavenworth, or maybe other routes in Squamish that are less gear intensive. But 1 number 3, 2 2s, 2 1s, 2 7.5s. I got 2 of the 0.5 sizes, but I'm using the Red Alien. And and then 2 of the .4 sizes, again with the gray Alien. I did bring 2 of the .3 sizes. I actually do have 2 .3s, but my yellow Alien cam got stuck on the route. So I don't have the Alien cam anymore. It happened when one of the clients was trying to clean a piece, and she accidentally pulled it and then pushed it further into the crack, and so it just got stuck there. And so I am actually without a yellow Alien, so I'm gonna get a new one soon, but I would bring a yellow Alien. And then I also have my green, my blue, and then blue is about as small as I'll bring on any given climb. We just did thin air today, which involves a finger crack at the start, and so these guys came in handy quite a bit, along with the yellow one. Black, I still haven't really used that too much, but this is like my core setup of cams. And also I got my stoppers, typical stoppers, number 4 to 13 with the nut key. Never placed any. Actually, on the last couple climbs I've been leaving them in my backpack because I kind of just don't do anything. And what I usually do, especially when I'm working for like multiple days at a time, is I just bring about, I think, 8 sport draws, 8 to 10 sport draws, and then 6 to 8 alpine draws. And then I bring all this rack of cams right here with the stoppers, and I put them in my backpack, and I just leave them in my backpack. And then usually we climb 2 or 3 routes during the day, and I just have my setup of gear that I subtract and add to as needed for whatever the climb is, and then the rest just live in my backpack. And I just really like that sort of method. I use that a lot, even when I'm just recreationally climbing. Got my helmet there. It's the same helmet I've always used. Shoes, I usually bring a couple different pairs of shoes with me. Over here is my usual setup with the TC Pros. I've been using those a lot this time. I did bring my more aggressive shoes, the Scarpa Instinct VS. I've actually really been liking that shoe lately. They've gotten me up. They just fit my feet really well. And then I have 2 different chalk bags, which I urge people to do, because one has a chalk ball in it, and I use it for my multi-pitch stuff or not intense stuff, and then the unicorn bag has loose chalk in it. I've been on climbs before, here as well, where all my loose chalk blows out of my bag because of the wind. And so instead of wasting or losing all of your chalk, because like it either blows out or you can spill it or whatever, just bring a chalk ball for the less intense routes. And so that's why I have the 2 chalk bags. That's a jacket. This is the layer that I have in my backpack, and I wear it in the morning and then put it in my backpack until I get back to the car, because it's kind of warm right now. So that's why I put it out there. I have a couple different jackets, but this is the only one I use, the Outdoor Research Transition. Here's a backpack. I actually saw a commercial for this online or something. Pacific Northwest is the company. They make this backpack. It packs down to nothing, and then I think it's about 20 liters or so. And it's waterproof. It's supposed to be like rip resistant, like really durable fabric. And overall, it's just a small backpack. So I use this as my on-route pack. I've been using it more, just sort of testing it out. It does have that large pocket in the front if you want to use that for whatever you want to use that for. And then I can just stuff this down in my backpack with nothing in it. And then it saves room. It saves room as compared to a conventional backpack, which would take up more room. And here's my classic backpack. It's been getting pretty dirty. The Black Diamond Creek 35. So all this stuff I just sort of shove in there, and then the rope goes on top. But what I can do is I have all this gear in this backpack always, so that way I can just get to the parking lot, pull out this backpack, and know that I'm ready to go. And we did do West Face and Monkey Face a couple days ago, which required the extra aid gear and other sort of shenanigans. And in that case, then I would just throw it in on top along with whatever I needed for the route. So that's the sort of setup I've been rolling with. This is all the gear that I'll bring to Smith Rocks, no matter what I'm doing. And I find that it all sort of works pretty well. I have mentioned about how much I love the Alien cams. And I gotta say, I wasn't sure how they would work in Smith Rock, but as expected, they're just amazing. I've found plenty of places for the bigger ones, and these guys really, they were wiggling into the thin cracks better than these slightly larger black diamond cams would. So I gotta say, the Aliens are still doing a good job. They've never let me down before. So that's all the gear that I have. I laid out my approach shoes because I realized in these videos I don't really bring these up too often, but it is very important to have a pair of approach shoes with sticky rubber. These are Scarpa Cruxes, and then they have this climbing edge on this side so you can actually do some moderate climbing. I actually end up climbing a lot in my approach shoes, but the sticky rubber really helps out with staying safe and keeping your purchase on like rock slabs or whatever you want to keep purchase on, especially climbing in the desert. You're usually dealing with more rock slabs, so it's a very crucial piece of equipment for your safety and others' safety that many people overlook. So that's why I decided to throw them on the table. But other than that, that's everything that I have, everything that I'll bring to Smith Rocks for whatever sort of adventure out there. If you have any questions, then feel free to leave a comment. If you have anything you want to add, then you can leave a comment for that too. I always like to see what other people will bring to the table, or what they prefer to use in Smith Rocks, or even if they just prefer sort of a different setup than I do, especially involving the harness. So feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and then stay tuned for the next couple of videos.
Good job, Al.
Nice.